Good morning, this is Thomas Sweeney from Love Dominates. Today, or this morning, I just did my morning dip in the salt water. I have some spotted rays underneath this vessel. It's actually pretty cool. Maybe you'll see them in the background, I don't know. They're actually jumping out of the water. They're very playful. But anyway, today is validation for me. I mean, this craziness never ends because the alienator will never stop targeting you. So today is supposed to be my sheriff's sale on my property at 173 Buckwalter Road in Royersford, Pennsylvania. So I'm going to kind of put this down here. I'll see if this stays. And I wrote some notes, so I'm going to be reading my notes. But the validation is just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Anyway, the reason I'm doing this video, by the way, just as is after jumping in the water, is I want to show you how God rewards you for being honest, for being faithful, to sticking to the side of the truth. So this is my paradise. And, you know, as I'm being rewarded, my former spouse and all his players, I guess you want to call them, the judges, the lawyers, the sheriff, they fall deeper and deeper into the darkness, which I call hell. I'm going to say it, hell. Today's video, I'm going to kind of bullet point what actually went on in this illegal activity of a sheriff's sale. But I'm also going to talk about other bullet points that I believe are important in life. Number one, if money is running your life, you're not living. Not at all. If you work like paycheck to paycheck, you failed in what really matters in life. You're basically a slave to the government, and you keep working hard so that you can hand over your paycheck to the elite so they can live a life of luxury, flying around in their private jets, while you have no life. I mean, when you die, what are you going to say? I was a great person. I supported my family. I worked hard. But you never enjoyed life. That is wrong in so many levels. So many levels. So, today, right now, Tom Sweeney, my former spouse, and the fake judges, Judge Carluccio, Judge Danielle, all the lawyers, the sheriff, Sean Kilkenny, and the banks are stealing my home. They make it look like a real transaction, like everything that they did was legal. They make it look legal on paper, but in reality, it's racketeering and money laundering. I literally just found out about the sheriff's sale 2 days ago, and that who is managing for the banks and who's the attorney for the banks, because all the other attorneys, all the other judges have dropped my case. Judge Carluccio, I kind of flagged her. She didn't have an oath of office, so she all of a sudden is off the docket, and now it's Judge Wall. Tom's lawyer drops out. The bank's lawyers drop out. Albert Early, one of my old lawyers, drops out. I mean, it's just been total chaos so that you can't follow or you can't track everything. But I can tell you this, I've been tracking not only their behaviors, but I'm tracking everything, even ex parte communications. Everything that they are doing is trackable. It's trackable. Okay. By the way, someone sent this to me this morning. I thought this was a great quote. They wrote, "Family court cartel makes more money than the drug cartels." And that is a true statement. Okay. So the bullet points on my house are, and I do have my affidavit of facts here. I solely own the house. I bought it, solely was on the note, and solely was on the deed. Back in 2004 when I bought it. When I was still married, okay, this is where you will see that I married a con artist. I literally married a sick person because in 2007, he tricked me into signing a document saying it was for refinancing. But in reality, it was for him to be put on the deed as a 50-50 owner. So he takes that deed that I signed and goes down into a different county, goes to a notary, and that notary signed that document saying I appeared there in person, and they signed it and stamped it. So that alone is fraudulent. That alone. I won't go over everything, but there's so much fraud in this case. And this was premeditated, I feel, before I even got married, because I was set up with this man. So that's another issue. In 2012, so in 2007, they fraudulently put his name on the deed. I had no idea until 2012 when I asked for a separation and a divorce. I had no clue he had done this. So in 2012, I was threatened, I was beaten down, I was bullied by Tom, not only Tom, but the judges, the police department, the therapists, the lawyers, the neighbors, my family, everyone. They believed what this con man was saying. They believed everything. It's just a whole court racket. And to be honest with you, Tom Sweeney, I don't have a problem saying this anymore. He's a very dangerous man. And I hate putting it out there. Yes, I have children. But he is a very, very dangerous man. He's a psychopath. And by tracking the patterns and by tracking everything, I don't like labeling anyone, but these patterns are one of a covert, malignant narcissist, one of a sociopath, one of a psychopath. Because when somebody wants you dead, you're now crossing the line. Absolutely crossing the line. I have been told, because of the hedge funding and all this scandal and the Ponzi schemes that he has, that he is worse than Bernie Madoff, and he's equivalent to a cult leader. So remember those. In 2015, I have a court-ordered divorce decree that on paper, again, it makes him look like the nice guy. He gets the house. He's going to live in the house until my youngest son graduates. And he's supposed to be responsible for the mortgage payments. And if he doesn't make the mortgage payments, then we had to sell the house. Well, he didn't. The intentional scandal here was the last year of the house, he was going to put it into foreclosure so that they could end up stealing the house. So the banks are involved, the judges are involved, the sheriff's involved, the lawyers are involved, because they just keep, what judge forces a person to sell their house when there's still equity in the house? So he doesn't pay the mortgage payments, he doesn't pay the taxes, and he's not held accountable. And it's now all going in my name. So I'm going to be held accountable for all his payments. He lives in the house, isn't responsible. I'm going to be responsible for the taxes, the mortgage payments, and they're throwing a judgment on me for $32,000. Plus, they actually have the balls to charge me 6% interest. And this has all been premeditated. This is all ex parte communications where this was pre-planned a long time ago. Think about this. When I was married to my ex, he was never home. He was gone 6 weeks at a time. He claimed he was working. Could never come home. not for my kids' birthdays, holidays, you know, important events. He wouldn't even come home. He's like, why does it matter? The kids aren't going to remember anyway. Well, he was right. So in 2012, when I asked for a divorce, all of a sudden I'm threatened and I'm thrown out of the house, and he can come home and never have to work again. How does that happen? Just saying. How does that happen? I'm just going over my notes. So now he lives in the house from 2012 to 2019 and does not pay the mortgage and taxes the last year, and I'm held responsible. I just repeated myself. So this was his plan, to force the house, to make it look like it was a legal foreclosure, to make it look like the banks are doing their jobs. But in reality, it's just the racketeering and money laundering industry that goes through family court. This doesn't only happen to me. I have hundreds of cases in Montgomery County that this happens to. And by the way, Judge Carluccio, who was on my case, who is a fake judge, her family is one of the largest real estate firms in Montgomery County. Her maiden name is Tornetta. So, go figure. I was never able to properly sell the house like any normal person. My ex controlled the whole thing. It went through Berkshire and Hathaway, and I had two different realtors. They were trying to, force me to sign documents that I would hand over my power of attorney and give Tom signing rights to just forge my name again and say that we agree on the sale of the house. That's what they were trying to do. So for people that are targeted like me, we can't sell our house. We just have to let everything go. So that's another $150,000 that I just lost. But they also did this to my sister. My sister lost her house. She just wasn't aware of what was really going on. So today, which is February 24th, 2021, the house is in sheriff's sale. Fraudulent. It's all fraud. None of it is real. And what they're doing is the whole game plan and the whole scandal here with the judges, my ex, they actually have someone come in under a different name, will purchase it, fix it up, and make it look all legit when it's them doing all of it. So my ex is making another probably $300,000 off of this. Meanwhile, and I have no problem saying this, and anyone can challenge me on it, but my ex makes over $1 million a month. He can pay this in cash, but he's intentionally harming me, intentionally doing this because of his rage and his anger. And it never ends. It just amazes me. So I'm just laughing this off today. Today I'm going to have a great day. I have good plans today. But they are relentless. And I actually, and I did this on purpose, I went to everyone involved. I went to Tom, and I sent him an email testing his conscience, saying, Tom, I'm putting out another olive branch. I must have given him like 10 or 20. It's time to end your chaos. It's time to stop this. Do the right thing. Come to the side of the light and get out of the darkness. He can't. He's a little whipping boy. He's controlled by the cartel. And I would hate his life. Think about his life. He's in jail. He, on the outside it looks like, oh, what a great life. This guy's making a lot of money. He parties and gambles and life's wonderful. That's what they say all the time. In reality, he's an alcoholic. He's on drugs. He's depressed. He's trauma bonded. And he's going to be a nobody. He's trapped in his own little jail of not being able to go out. He has to stay under the radar. They're on the dark web. He's on Tor, Tor. It's a criminal website for all his businesses. I mean, that alone talks about the Ponzi scams. And his business is one of them, roofingprojects.com. That is the Ponzi scam. And why is it that you can never find Tom Sweeney online? You can't Google him and find him anywhere. Why is that? If you are not out in the open, to me, you're hiding something. Sorry, I sound so congested. I have water in my ears and all. I've been diving, the snorkeling and everything the last couple of days, and I can't even hear. Okay, so I was going off track there. I was never able to sell the house properly. I was literally harassed by the realtors. I had a real estate lawyer at the time. It was, everything they did was unethical. I actually had to put a cease and desist on them because they were calling me at 3 a.m, harassing me. Let's see. All of this. I'm trying to, all this is basically extortion. They're extorting me for money and to clear their name of federal tax liens and stuff. Already, my ex put over $1 million of federal tax liens in my name. It was his personal business taxes and his personal income taxes, and I get held responsible. So it destroyed my credit. And he was able to pay it off. He paid $478,000 in 6 months and another $478,000 in another 6 months. And then he has like 4 other federal tax liens. I don't know if he just makes these up or they're actually true. But I'm responsible for everything. So basically, this man married me. Married me for my social security number. For me, to make his image look good. So, which is kind of a compliment. He had to pick me to balance out his image. He was looking for someone with a good heart, a good soul, a truth teller, so that his darkness would, be equaled out, I guess. I don't know. So it's a compliment to me. He chose me because I was a good person. But then he also chose me to have his children because his children can run his empire. And I feel bad for my son because he became the heir of the empire, which is all criminal. And my kids are in an awful, awful position. It's really not their fault. They were forced into this. My ex didn't have a family, didn't have kids to have a family. He had children to carry on his legacy. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. It's all ego. But anyway, today is validation for me for all the crimes that are going on. I gave everyone an opportunity, like I said before, to stop the nonsense. I sent personal letters to the sheriff, Sean Kilkenny. I wrote letters to Tom. I actually, hope I don't knock this over, I actually did an affidavit of facts. Hold on. An affidavit of facts, which I've put in online before, with all the violations and codes that they have broken. And I actually, I put the affidavit of facts on the record, and Judge Carluccio removed it, so it must have been that good. I tested their conscience, and basically, they have none. That's what I figured out. Obviously, we all know that. They don't have a conscience. These people that are in the court systems are narcissists. Okay. I'm just going to read some of these bullet points I wrote down here. The truth is that I married a con artist, a Bernie Madoff, and I had no clue. Also, a cult leader that has brainwashed my children to dangerous levels. This was Tom Sweeney's, my former spouse's, plan before I even said I do, because he wanted to use my social security number. He wanted to hide underneath the radar. So he marries me, like I said, for my image. And it's funny because a lot of people would say to me, Tom married up and I married down. And I didn't even get what that meant. I mean, I don't think on that kind of level. But later on, I understood what it meant was, you know, he married good and I married poorly, which is very, very true. I hesitate saying this, but it's a true fact. It's so sad for my children because my children since 2012, actually even before that, since birth, have learned my ex's behaviors. And his behaviors are one of a narcissist, one of a sociopath, one of a psychopath. So now he has turned my children into these traits. So now my kids are going to be monsters to their own spouses. They'll never ever have a normal relationship because everything is built on a lie. A lie. So, on paper, my ex married me to own houses. You know, it looks like, you know, he made me feel great because I was the breadwinner and everything, or so I thought. I was the one that owned the houses, so I thought I was doing good. But in reality, he was stabbing me in the back. And he knew all along he was going to get that house and all the equity out of it. But on the divorce decree, it makes him look like, oh, he's such a good person. What are you complaining about, Tamara? You're going to get 65% of the equity out of the house. I didn't get a dime. And if you listen to one of my videos that's on my Love Dominates site, you can hear him say these exact words. And it was to his friend B. I have paid this woman tens and thousands of dollars. No, he never did. On paper, it looks like he did. On paper, it looks like he was being religious paying me, which he wasn't. He would miss payments all the time. But the game plan was they were going to extort me for money, get that money back, and extort me for more money. Take my house, take my sister's house, take every single asset that I own, and I don't know if I'll ever stop. How do you get a psychopath to stop targeting you? I mean, seriously, he took everything. So what else can I give him? Seriously. So today is validation. If they go through with that sheriff sale, today is validation that he actually never, ever paid me a dime because I'm not getting anything out of that house. Like I said, it looks good on paper. But Tom Sweeney's hands are never dirty. Ever, ever, ever. He puts everyone else responsible. So, I don't know. I just think it's funny. I watch these judges, these lawyers, and their behaviors. And it's a visual in my mind that they're running around like little dirty rats, filthy rats, stealing everyone's assets. And it's not only happening to me, I'm watching it happen to everyone. They steal your property, they steal your kids, they'll steal the shirt off your back, they'll murder you. They do not care. They do not care. And watching all their ex parte communications is just unreal. And to watch them lie to you in front of your face, and then they turn it around and blame it on you. It's amazing. It's amazing. I think about this too. I think about a judge's life. Okay, so every day they wake up, they go to a negative place, a courthouse, right? They see the same four walls every day because they have the same courtroom that they use. They're being controlled by the devil. And they are just, to me, their life sucks. It sucks. They're not living. They're not living. They, again, when you die, ask yourself, did I really live my life to the fullest? You know what I mean? If you're making your life about money, you're not living. I sit there and say, will God be happy with me, with my life? And right now, I kind of feel he would be, because I went from pain to power. Pain to power. He cleared out all the negativity in my life. I was with a narcissist. Unfortunately, I didn't leave my kids behind. I'm still fighting for them, trying to get them out of the abuse. But he's cleared my path so I can have this. And this is what I'm going to teach everyone. This is how I'm going to teach people. You can get here too. You absolutely can. What I've learned is these people have no heart, no soul, no conscience. They totally missed out on what God had planned for them. God's plan was for us to live our lives as we believe, to find our own passions, our own compassions, to love one another. If we choose to commit to someone, it doesn't have to be in marriage, on a contract, but if we choose to commit to someone and have children, and to raise these children, that we were supposed to grow in oneness and unite as a family and to protect our family. We were to love God, and we're supposed to trust in God. God gives everyone free will. It's your choice to go with the devil or to go with God. Your choice to have eternal life or eternal hell. I believe in God's love, in God's law, and look how I'm rewarded. Every day I wake up to blue skies, crystal clear water, the sun, the salt air. I'm grounded, I'm balanced in life, and I'm living my dream. It's literally divine intervention. So be it. Amen. Agape love dominates. I hope this video helps. I'm sorry I rambled. I think I'm at 30 minutes now, so I'm cutting. But this is just validation today that these little rats are running around stealing my house. And what the court document says, the divorce decree, I was supposed to make 65% of the equity. And they do not hold my ex-spouse, Thomas Sweeney, accountable for anything. And my final validation is a documentary, and I'm going to name every single person that is playing in these fraudulent activities. All right, I spoke enough. Love dominates. Stay on the side of the light. Stay on the side of the truth, and you will be rewarded. God bless.